Hi, I'm April Lancaster. Today I wanted to take a few quick minutes to talk about something really near and dear to my heart. Kind of popped in my head last night when I saw a post from someone that I know, and also I've been kind of wanting to talk about this for a while. That's not true, I talk about it all the time, just this is an opportunity to talk about it on a bigger scale. Hi, I'm April Lancaster. Today I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about a topic that I'm very passionate about, and that is essential oil and the safety in their use. Essential oils are highly concentrated volatile organic compounds. Sometimes it can take pounds of plant material to make one single drop of essential oil. I am a traditional herbalist, so while I do think that essential oils have their place, I also think that they are being widely overused. People are making recommendations on their use that have absolutely no education or proper training in the essential oil field or in essential oil use in general, and it's causing a lot of confusion. It's causing a lot of trauma to people. There are increasing numbers of injuries that I'm seeing in my small corner of the world here. So I just want to go ahead and take a minute to have a conversation about the difference between aromatherapy and herbal medicine. Herbs have been used for thousands and thousands of years to treat illness. There are references in the Bible to herbs, is how far back we can go. A lot of people, these essential oil folks, want to say essential oils were used in the Bible. You can use spikenard oil or frankincense oil or myrrh or whatever it is because it's in the Bible. In fact, back in those days, the technology to produce essential oils didn't exist. So most likely the oils that are being referenced to are whole plant oils, fixed oils that have been infused with those plants, which is one way that I absolutely love to use my herbs, is in oil infusions because they are very safe. You extract lots of different types of constituents. Of course, we have to be educated and we have to know when it's best to do an alcohol infusion or a glycerite versus a tincture with an alcohol or oil. But that's a whole nother topic. So I'm going to try and stay on my linear path here, which is rather hard for me at times, especially when I'm talking about herbs. But so essential oils actually did not exist in bountiful numbers, or if not at all, during biblical times. So please stop using that as your backing as to why you can use essential oils without knowing their proper safety protocols. Please, let's just go over, I mean, I'm not an essential oil expert. Essential oil safety is one of my passions. I do make essential oils and mainly hydrosols on a very small scale, nothing for large quantity production. But I just do want to go ahead and touch on a few key points here. Essential safety measures that you can use to avoid injury to yourself or your children. Essential oils are not recommended for use in children under 2 years old, period, at all. The leading expert in the world, Dr. Robert Tisser, I'm sorry, I always say doctor. You should be a doctor. I'm going to doctorinate him right now, so you're a doctor now. Robert Tisserand, the world's leading essential oil safety expert. He has a book, literally the manual to safety and guidelines and chemistry of essential oils as far as their specific profiles and chemotypes. He's the man, Robert Tisserand. He's the safety man. If you're into essential oils, please get his book, The Essential Oil Safety Guide by Tisserand and Young. It is costly, but trust me, it's worth it, especially when we're talking about volatile organic compounds that have maximum recommended usage amounts. And these are very important to keep in mind. So essential oil safety Mr. Tisserand, he's amazing. Okay, let's talk about this internal use fad, right? So lots of people want to take their essential oils internally, either in a glass of water, or some people they have these little capsules. One of those big companies that sell MLM essential oils that I won't mention has little gel caps, and take your essential oils in a gel cap. So let's talk for a minute about how this whole internal use thing, I believe, kind of got mainstream. In the French model of aromatherapy, there is certain circumstances where essential oils will be recommended to be taken internally. Typically, these are going to be in the place of pharmaceuticals. So you're going to be using an internal essential oil in French aromatherapy, probably in a very acute type of a situation. But these are by medically trained aromatherapy professionals. So there actually is, a very well-established model of medicinal aromatherapy that does use internal products like essential oils. But don't put it in your water, you guys. Don't put a drop of essential oil in your water and drink it down every day, or 10 drops or 15 or however many drops you're putting into your water, because that's super freaking dangerous, guys. Like, okay, so essential oils, they are hydrophobic, which means they are afraid of water. Phobia, hydro, fear, water. Essential oils are afraid of water, which means that they are not going to blend in with your water. So if you take essential oil and you put it in your water, then it's just going to sit right there at the top of it, neat, in an undiluted type of a state. And there are potential risks with contact with undiluted essential oils. Some of these essential oils can actually produce a 3rd-degree burn if they touch your skin undiluted. And I know, because I have, unfortunately, made the mistake of, I distilled lemon verbena one day, and I was so excited. I produced almost 5 milliliters of essential oil, which is completely unheard of for lemon verbena. But it happened, and I think it's because I had a whole bunch of really, really, really old lemon verbena that I pretty much just powdered and packed as much of that stuff in my still as possible. You're probably talking about like 50 pounds of what would have been fresh plant material, condensed down into probably 10 pounds of powder. But I got all excited talking about that. Oh yeah, so I got a little drop on my finger, and I was like, ooh, look how pretty it is. I'm gonna take a picture. And the next day I had a really severe burn. So lemon verbena undiluted, don't do it. I mean, nothing undiluted. There are very few essential oils that can be used on the skin undiluted in a neat application, which is what we in the industry call undiluted application, is also neat application, a more technical term. So only lavender, I would say, as a rule of thumb, lavender is the only essential oil that can be used in a neat application, and that depends on the type of chemotype. So spike lavender, not the same. Okay, we have different rules for different chemotypes of plants and different varietals. And again, a great book, Essential Oil Safety, or you can follow, Robert Tisserand. He has a Facebook page, the Tisserand Institute. You can look him up on Google. You can find multitudes of infographics that he has produced, to ensure you have access to the safety information. I'm just hitting the high points here, folks. So forgive me if I'm not really getting it all out there. Okay, let's see where we are. No essential oils for babies under 2. None. no essential oils at all. At all for babies under 2. So, and then from 2 to 10, there's infographics that you can find on Google from Robert Tisserand about which essential oils are safe during that age group. You have a little bit more leeway in the 2 to 10 age group. And then from 10 to 12, there are some that you want to avoid. Mainly anybody over 12 years old is okay with safely diluted levels of essential oil. So safely diluted levels, diluted means you take an essential oil, you mix it with a fixed or carrier oil such as olive oil, hemp seed oil, jojoba oil, sweet almond oil, whichever you prefer, whatever you have access to. Typically 3% dilution is what's pretty much safe for people, healthy, regular people to start off with, you know. People with epilepsy or compromised immune systems, the elderly, and the very young, we want to use caution, maybe start at a 1% dilution ratio. And you can find wonderful infographics, again, on Google. Rosemary Gladstar made a beautiful infographic about dilution levels. Robert Tisserand has a great infographic about dilution levels, ratios. 3%, I believe, is usually going to be 4 drops per ounce, give or take. And, you know, I'm kind of on the spot doing this video thing right now, so my information might be accessed in the moment. So, where are we? Children, be careful with your kids, guys, okay? Because these essential oils really can cause some problems. Yes, they're natural. They're, you know, they come from the earth, and that's a beautiful thing, but you're using them in very high concentrations when you're using an essential oil. Oftentimes, you can give the child a whole herb or a tea, a glycerite, maybe a tincture at a really low level, and it's going to be much more effective and much more safe for your child than an essential oil. Please, no essential oils and open wounds for the most part. That's a generalization, but I'm just, like I said, hitting the high points here. Where else? Okay, oh, and then one last thing. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about was a new product that I've been seeing everywhere. You may have seen it. You may have it in your home. It's a cleaner that has been produced by one of the major MLM brands, and it is made with thieves oil. So I'm going to admit I haven't had the product in my hand. I am assuming that, okay, so I see people are using, they have one bottle, they have a bottle of water, they're mixing a quantity of this bottle into their bottle of water, and they're using that as a home care product. So the problem with that is what we will talk about first, what we learned about essential oils, right? Essential oils are hydrophobic. They do not like water. They're afraid of it. Essential oils are lipophilic. They love fat, right? So if we have a bottle of water with essential oil in it and we spread it on our counter and we have a sponge and then our hand and we're cleaning, how many of you guys wear gloves when you're cleaning? I don't do it. I'm assuming not a lot of you do. So you're cleaning with your thieves oil and your sponge, and guess where that thieves oil is going? You're the fat. So the thieves oil is going straight to you, right? So the problem with that is that thieves is made with a lot of known sensitizing essential oils, which can be very, very dangerous to be used as a home cleaner on a daily basis in a water solution. So let's talk a little bit about the thieves. The original thieves were traders during the time of the bubonic plague. They were spice traders, in fact. They knew a lot about herbs. They were out of work because during that time there was no commerce coming in or out, because obviously plants are from other places, right? So they were unable to work in their field. As the story goes, there's lots of historical references, lots of different versions of this story, but it always ends in the thought that the original thieves extract was an acetum. So Acetobacter is the bacteria that produces what we know as vinegar. So infused herbal vinegars are called acetums. So the spice traders would use the herbal infusion of that acetum with the thyme, the oregano, rosemary, lemon, eucalyptus, all those wonderful things that are very antiviral, antibacterial. They would wash their body with it. Maybe they would even take a drink of it to promote that antibacterial activity within their own body. And the story goes that they would go in to the victims of the plague. They would move the bodies out and maybe potentially take some of their shit. That's how the story goes. I don't know. I'm just saying what I've read from historical texts, from what I know. But I do know that it was never intended to be an essential oil blend. So please, stop using Thieves essential oil everywhere. It's not safe. You know, I had a client who came in and we were talking about a liver issue that she had. She has elevated liver enzymes. She doesn't drink. She doesn't use drugs. She's never taken an antibiotic or any kind of a prescription medication in her life. She has these elevated liver enzymes. She's had 3 liver biopsies, and the physicians cannot find out what is wrong with this woman's liver. So I just had this little, nudge. I had a little hunch. I said, can we talk about your essential oil use? What's your essential oil use look like? And she says, oh, I am a distributor for such and such of a company, and I have a diffuser in every room of my home. They are constantly running, but don't worry, because it's just with Thieves. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of Thieves on my hands and I'll smell it, or sometimes I'll put a little drop of Thieves on my head if I feel like I've been around somebody who's sick, maybe. And I said, you don't need to go to your doctor anymore about your liver, because if you stop using essential oils, your liver problem will most likely resolve itself. And then I went on to explain to her, the issue with this widespread corporatization of essential oils and their use. It's just no good, you guys. So, if you want to use Thieves oil in your house to clean your counters and stuff, make an infused vinegar, make an acetum. Take, rice wine vinegar, red wine vinegar. You can use distilled white vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar. You put your herbs in, whatever you have around, thyme, oregano, lemon, eucalyptus, rosemary, lavender, all very good options. Rose geranium would be beautiful also, by the way. Put it in the bottle with vinegar, fill it up, seal it, not with a metal cap, because the vinegar is acidic and it'll eat away the metal cap. So use a plastic cap or put a barrier in between the vinegar and the lid. And shake it every day for 2 to 6 weeks. If you're in a hurry, use it after 2. If you're not, use it after 6. And use that on your counters. You can use it as a hand spray. Might be a little bit sticky, depending on your preference. But it's going to be much safer than using that, that Thieves oil for everything. So, and then also another thing about plants is the sustainability issue, right? So the way essential oils are being produced right now is not a sustainable practice. And that has been demonstrated over time with some of the large companies showing possibly adulterated batches of product. It's not a good thing. We don't want to encourage that. We don't want to endanger animal species like sandalwood is indigenous to India. It has been endangered there. Palo Santo is at risk. White sage, maybe not for essential oil production, for other reasons, but we really, really need to protect our plant species, and essential oils are not going to do that. And this big, huge push towards essential oils is really bad for our plant, numbers. So let's always remember, whole herbs are best. Never ingest essential oils. Don't put them on your babies. Don't put them on your grandmas. Not if you're epileptic. And just this book, Essential Oil Safety, Robert Tisserand. If you're into essential oils, if you're making products with essential oils for sale, you need to get this book. So that's going to be my ditty for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. You can subscribe to the channel. You can get notifications when I'm making a new post. And if you have anything else, please go ahead and shoot me a message. But definitely don't disagree with me if you have no class time with essential oils. If you do, let's talk. Again, it's a generalization. Just some key points to the average person for safe usage. So thank you for watching.